Namaste, and a warm welcome to each of you. I am grateful you've chosen to spend this time with me. In our fast-paced world, filled with endless distractions and demands, it's so easy to lose touch with ourselves, to feel adrift in a sea of anxieties and desires. We search for happiness outside, in achievements, in possessions, in the approval of others, often finding only fleeting satisfaction. But what if I told you that the seeds of profound peace, lasting joy, and a truly improved life are already within you, waiting to be nurtured? Buddhism, for thousands of years, has offered a path, a practical guide, to cultivate these inner qualities. Today, I wish to share with you 10 powerful habits, rooted in this ancient wisdom, that can begin to transform your life, not in some distant future, but starting from this very moment, if you open your heart and mind to them. These are not rigid rules, but gentle invitations to live more consciously, more kindly, more aware. They are habits I have cultivated over many years in the monastery, and habits I have seen bring light and ease to countless individuals, just like you. So, find a comfortable space, allow your body to relax, take a soft breath, and let us begin this journey together. Habit 1. The sacred pause, mindful breathing. Our very first habit, and perhaps the simplest yet most profound, is the practice of the sacred pause, the conscious awareness of our breath. Our breath is our constant companion, from the moment we are born until our last. It is always here, in the present moment. In the monastery, we begin and end many of our activities with a few conscious breaths. Why? Because the breath anchors us to the now. So much of our suffering comes from our minds dwelling in the past, with its regrets, or racing into the future, with its anxieties. The simple act of noticing your breath, the sensation of air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, the gentle release as it leaves, brings your entire being into the present. Anecdote: I remember a young novice who first joined our community. He was always restless, his mind like a frisky monkey, jumping from one thought to another. He struggled with meditation, with chores, with everything that required focus. One day, our abbot didn't give him complex instructions or long discourses. He simply said, "For today, whenever you remember, just notice 3 breaths. That is all." Slowly, day by day, these small islands of awareness began to calm the stormy waters of his mind. He learned that in the space of just 3 breaths, he could find a refuge, a moment of clarity. How to practice? You can do this anywhere, anytime. Right now, as you listen. Simply bring your attention to your breath. Don't try to change it. Just observe. In and out. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back. Even 1 minute of mindful breathing can shift your state. Try it when you wake up, before a difficult conversation, or when you feel overwhelmed. This isn't about stopping your thoughts, it's about not being carried away by them. This simple pause is your first step to reclaiming your inner peace, instantly creating a space between a stimulus and your response. Habit 2. Cultivating the garden of gratitude. Our minds often have a negativity bias, don't they? We tend to notice what's wrong, what's missing, what we lack. The second habit we'll explore is actively cultivating the garden of gratitude. It's about shifting our focus to the abundance that already surrounds us, no matter our circumstances. Gratitude isn't just a fleeting feeling, it's a practice, a muscle we can strengthen. When we appreciate what we have, our entire perspective changes. The ordinary becomes extraordinary. Anecdote: there was an old monk in our lineage who was known for his joyful disposition, despite living a life of utmost simplicity. He had very few material possessions, his robes, a bowl, a few books. Yet, he radiated happiness. When asked his secret, he would often say, "Each morning, I wake and I am grateful for the sun that warms my face, for the air I breathe, for the birds that sing, for the kindness of a fellow human. My bowl is never empty if my heart is full of thanks." He taught us that gratitude doesn't depend on how much we have, but on how much we appreciate what is already given. He would point to a simple wildflower growing through a crack in the pavement and marvel at its resilience and beauty, reminding us that blessings are everywhere, if only we have the eyes to see them. How to practice. Each day, perhaps in the morning or before you sleep, consciously bring to mind 3 things you are grateful for. They can be small: a warm cup of tea, a comfortable bed, a smile from a stranger. Or they can be larger: your health, your loved ones, your opportunities. You might even keep a gratitude journal. As you do this, truly feel the gratitude in your heart. This simple act rewires your brain to notice the good, instantly lifting your spirits and reminding you of the richness of your life, right here, right now. Habit 3. The art of kind speech, words as seeds. The Buddha taught that our words have great power, the power to heal or to harm, to build up or to tear down. Our third habit, then, is the practice of kind speech, or what is known in Buddhism as samavaka, part of the Noble Eightfold Path. This means speaking truthfully, kindly, and beneficially. Think of your words as seeds. Kind words plant flowers in the hearts of others, and in your own. Harsh words sow thorns. Before you speak, it's wise to ask yourself, is it true? Is it kind? Is it necessary? If the answer to all 3 is not yes, then perhaps silence is the better offering. Anecdote. I recall a time in the monastery when 2 monks had a sharp disagreement. Their voices were raised, and hurtful things were said. The atmosphere in that part of the monastery became heavy, almost palpably tense, for days. It affected everyone. Later, with the guidance of an elder, they came together. They didn't just apologize, they spoke from the heart about the impact of the words, and listened to each other with genuine remorse and a willingness to understand. The shift was remarkable. The moment kind, honest, and healing words were exchanged, the tension dissolved, not just between them, but in the space around them. It was a profound lesson for all of us on how our speech shapes our reality and the reality of those we interact with. How to practice. This habit asks for mindfulness in communication. Before speaking, especially in moments of anger or frustration, take that sacred pause we talked about. Consider the impact of your words. Choose words that are constructive, supportive, and encouraging. This isn't about being inauthentic or suppressing your feelings, but about expressing them skillfully and with compassion. When you practice kind speech, you'll notice an immediate improvement in your relationships and a greater sense of peace within yourself. You cultivate harmony, instantly reducing conflict and fostering connection. Habit 4. Embracing impermanence, the freedom Indiana letting go. One of the core teachings of Buddhism is anicca, the truth of impermanence. Everything changes. Nothing stays the same, not our thoughts, not our feelings, not our bodies, not the world around us. Our fourth habit is to embrace this impermanence, which leads to the profound skill of letting go. So much of our suffering arises from clinging to pleasure, clinging to youth, clinging to relationships exactly as they are, clinging to our ideas of how things should be. When we resist change, we create tension and pain. When we understand and accept that all things are transient, like clouds passing in the sky, we find a deep sense of freedom. Anecdote. In our monastery, there's a tradition of creating intricate sand mandalas. Monks spend days, sometimes weeks, painstakingly pouring colored sand to create beautiful, symbolic patterns. They are masterpieces of patience and artistry. And then, upon completion, in a special ceremony, the mandala is systematically dismantled, and the sand is poured into a nearby river or stream, symbolizing the impermanence of all things and the importance of non-attachment. The first time I witnessed this as a young novice, my heart ached to see such beauty destroyed. But an elder monk smiled gently and said, "The beauty was in the creation, in the intention, in the understanding it represents. Its true purpose is fulfilled in its dissolution, reminding us not to cling, even to beauty." This taught me that letting go isn't about loss, but about liberation from the fear of loss. How to practice. Begin by noticing the small changes around you, the weather, the light, the mood of a room. Reflect on experiences, good or bad, and acknowledge that they, too, passed. When you find yourself clinging to something, an expectation, a resentment, a desire, gently remind yourself of its impermanent nature. Practice saying, "This too shall pass." This doesn't mean you don't care, or don't engage with life fully. It means you engage with an open hand, rather than a clenched fist. The instant you truly accept the transient nature of something you're struggling with, a weight lifts. Habit 5. Compassionate listening, hearing beyond words. We've spoken about kind speech, and now we turn to its equally important counterpart, compassionate listening. This fifth habit is about truly hearing another person, not just with our ears, but with our heart. So often, when someone else is speaking, we are simply waiting for our turn to talk, formulating our reply, judging, or comparing. Compassionate listening is a gift. It's about offering your full, non-judgmental presence to another. It's about listening to understand, to connect, to validate their experience, rather than to advise, fix, or correct, unless explicitly asked. Anecdote. I remember a visitor who came to the monastery. He was deeply troubled, carrying a heavy burden of sorrow. He spoke for a long time to one of our elder monks. The elder monk mostly listened, nodding occasionally, his gaze soft and steady, offering only a few gentle questions. He didn't offer solutions or platitudes. Afterwards, the visitor remarked with tears in his eyes, "I feel so much lighter. It's the first time I've felt truly heard in years." The elder monk hadn't done much in the conventional sense, but his deep, compassionate listening had created a space for healing. He understood that sometimes, the greatest kindness we can offer is simply to bear witness to another's pain without trying to change it. How to practice. When someone is speaking to you, try to put aside your own internal chatter. Maintain gentle eye contact. Listen not just to the words, but to the feelings behind them. Notice their body language, their tone of voice. Resist the urge to interrupt or to immediately offer your own story. You might reflect back what you hear, "So, it sounds like you're feeling." This helps the other person feel understood. This practice can instantly transform your interactions, fostering deeper connections and understanding, and often, the person speaking finds their own solution simply by being fully heard. Habit 6. The joy of single-tasking in a multitasking world. Our modern world often glorifies multitasking. We try to do a dozen things at once, believing we are being more productive. But in reality, our attention becomes fragmented, our stress levels rise, and the quality of our work, and our experience, often suffers. The sixth habit is to rediscover the joy and power of single tasking, doing one thing at a time, with your full attention. This is mindfulness in action. When you are eating, just eat. When you are walking, just walk. When you are working on a task, dedicate your focus entirely to that task. Anecdote. In the monastery, many of our chores are simple, repetitive tasks: sweeping the courtyard, tending the garden, washing bowls. When I first arrived, I would rush through them, my mind already on the next thing, or on some grand philosophical question. An older monk observed this and gently advised, "When you sweep, just sweep. Feel the broom in your hands, the movement of your body, the sound of the bristles on the stone. Let sweeping be the most important thing in the world in that moment." It sounded too simple. But as I practiced this, I found a surprising sense of calm and satisfaction even in the most mundane chores. They became opportunities for meditation, for presence. The quality of my work improved too, because I was fully there. How to practice. Choose one task today that you will dedicate your full attention to. It could be drinking your tea, listening to music, or completing a work assignment. When your mind wanders, and it will, gently bring it back to the task at hand. Turn off notifications if possible. You'll find that you are more efficient, less stressed, and you might even find joy in activities you previously found tedious. This habit instantly brings a sense of order and peace to a scattered mind, enhancing focus and enjoyment. Habit 7. The mirror of noble silence, finding wisdom within. We live in a world saturated with noise, external noise from traffic, media, chatter, but also internal noise from our constant stream of thoughts. Our seventh habit, and one that many find surprisingly transformative, is the practice of noble silence. This isn't just about not speaking, it's about cultivating an inner stillness, creating a space where we can hear the quieter voice of wisdom within. Noble silence can be practiced for short periods, like an hour, or longer, as we do during retreats in the monastery. It's a time to disengage from external distractions and turn inwards. Anecdote. This is the habit many are curious about. In our monastery, we observe periods of noble silence daily, and longer periods during retreats. For newcomers, it can be incredibly challenging. The mind, accustomed to constant stimulation, rebels. All the thoughts you've been avoiding come to the surface. But if you persist, something remarkable happens. The mental chatter begins to quieten. In that quietude, insights arise. You begin to see your patterns of thought and emotion more clearly, without judgment. I remember a particularly restless period in my own practice many years ago. My mind was like a turbulent sea. During a week-long silent retreat, the first few days were agony. But then, slowly, a deep calm settled. And in that calm, I had a profound realization about a pattern of attachment I had been struggling with. It wasn't an intellectual understanding, it was a deep, experiential knowing that arose from the silence. This clarity simply wouldn't have been possible amidst the noise of daily life. How to practice. You don't need to go to a monastery for a week. Start small. Dedicate 10 to 15 minutes a day to intentional silence. No phone, no TV, no books, no talking. Just be with yourself. You can sit quietly, or go for a silent walk in nature. Observe what comes up without judgment. Initially, it might feel uncomfortable, but with practice, you'll find it deeply restorative and insightful. This practice can instantly provide a sanctuary from the world's clamor, allowing you to connect with your deeper self and access a wellspring of inner peace and wisdom that is often drowned out. Habit 8. Generosity of spirit, the open hand, the open heart. The eighth habit is the practice of dana, which translates to generosity or giving. This is not just about giving material things. It encompasses generosity of spirit, giving your time, your attention, your kindness, your understanding, your forgiveness. The act of giving, freely and without expectation of return, is a powerful antidote to selfishness and attachment, and a direct path to joy. The Buddha taught that the hand that gives is the hand that gathers. When we give, we open ourselves to receive the blessings of connection and contentment. Anecdote. Our community often relies on the generosity of lay supporters for food and other necessities. And in turn, we offer the teachings, our time, and our spiritual support. I've seen that those who give most freely, even if they have little themselves, are often the most joyful. There was a woman in a nearby village, not wealthy by any means, who would regularly bring a small portion of her vegetables from her garden to the monastery. Her face would light up as she offered them. She once told me, "Venerable, when I give, my heart feels bigger. It makes my own struggles seem smaller." Her simple act of dana was a profound teaching for me. It wasn't about the quantity of the gift, but the quality of the giving, the open-hearted intention behind it. It creates a virtuous cycle of kindness and abundance. How to practice. Look for opportunities to be generous each day. It could be offering a genuine compliment, helping a neighbor, donating to a cause you believe in, or simply offering a listening ear to someone in need. Let go of the need for recognition or reciprocation. Give for the joy of giving itself. You will find that this practice instantly dissolves feelings of scarcity and separation, fostering a sense of abundance and interconnectedness. It truly is more blessed to give than to receive, for in giving, we receive the joy of an open heart. Habit 9. Walking with awareness, every step a meditation. We often think of meditation as something done sitting still on a cushion. But mindfulness can be brought into every activity. Our ninth habit is the practice of walking meditation, or simply walking with awareness. Every step can be an opportunity to be present, to connect with your body and the earth. This is particularly helpful for those who find sitting meditation difficult, or as a way to integrate mindfulness into your daily movements. Anecdote. The renowned Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh often spoke beautifully about walking meditation. He taught that we should walk as if we are kissing the earth with our feet. In our monastery, we practice kinhin, or walking meditation, between periods of sitting meditation. We walk slowly, mindfully, coordinating our breath with our steps. I used to find it a bit pointless, just walking back and forth in a hall. But one day, I truly focused on the sensation of my feet touching the ground, the subtle shifts in balance, the air on my skin. Suddenly, this simple act became incredibly profound. Each step was a moment of presence, a connection to life. It taught me that meditation isn't confined to a cushion. Our whole life can be a meditation if we bring awareness to it. How to practice. You can practice this anywhere you walk, in your home, in a park, on your way to work. Slow down your pace slightly. Bring your attention to the sensations in your feet and legs as you walk. Feel the contact of your foot with the ground, heel, sole, toes. You can coordinate your breath with your steps, perhaps inhaling for 3 steps, exhaling for 3 steps. If your mind wanders, gently bring it back to the sensation of walking. This practice instantly grounds you, calms the mind, and transforms a mundane activity into a peaceful, meditative experience. It helps you arrive in each moment. Habit 10. The evening review, learning from your day. Our final habit, the 10th, is the practice of the evening review. This is a gentle, compassionate reflection on your day before you go to sleep. It's not about judging yourself harshly or dwelling on mistakes, but about learning and setting a positive intention for the next day. This practice cultivates self-awareness and helps you consciously shape your journey of personal growth. It's like checking your map and compass at the end of a day's travel. Anecdote. An elder monk I deeply respected had a small, worn notebook he would write in each evening for just a few minutes. Curious, I once asked him about it. He explained, "This is my conversation with myself and with my aspirations." I briefly recall the day. I note moments where I acted in line with my values, with kindness and awareness, and I rejoice in those. I also note moments where I fell short, where perhaps impatience or anger arose. Not to scold myself, but to understand the conditions that led to it, and to reaffirm my intention to do better. It helps me to learn from each day, to forgive myself, and to go to sleep with a peaceful mind and a clear heart for tomorrow. This practice of gentle, honest self-reflection, he said, was one of his most valuable tools for steady growth on the path. How to practice. Before sleep, take a few quiet moments. Ask yourself, what am I grateful for today? Where did I act with kindness, compassion, or wisdom today? Acknowledge these moments. Then, gently consider, were there moments I wish I had handled differently? What can I learn from them? Avoid blame or harsh self-criticism. Simply observe with a kind curiosity. Finally, set a gentle intention for tomorrow, perhaps to be more patient, more mindful, or to practice one of these habits more consciously. This quiet review instantly brings closure to your day, promotes self-understanding, and prepares you for a more intentional and peaceful tomorrow. And so, we have explored these 10 powerful habits, these ancient friends on the path to a more peaceful, joyful, and meaningful life. Remember, these are not tasks to be perfectly achieved, but practices to be gently cultivated, day by day, breath by breath. Be patient with yourself. Be kind to yourself. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and each of these habits, practiced with sincere intention, is a step towards your own inner awakening. The potential for transformation is already within you. I encourage you to choose just one or two of these habits to focus on this week. Notice how they begin to shift your experience. Thank you for sharing this time with me. It has been an honor to walk with you for a while on this path. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be free from suffering. May your life be filled with ease, joy, and profound understanding.